How to catch a cheating partner. Before we talk about how to catch a cheating partner, let's talk about why someone would want to catch a cheating partner. Usually it's for the purposes of peace of mind. So someone has a suspicion, or they might even know for a fact that their partner or spouse is cheating and they want to get definitive evidence. Even if you don't need definitive evidence yourself, you might decide that you want to be able to show other people after the relationship who the guilty party was, because if you're dealing with a devious partner, that person might lie or try and deceive family members or friends and say that the innocent person was in fact the person cheating. It can also be necessary to get evidence of infidelity for religious reasons. So some religions require you to show proof of infidelity on the part of the other person so that you can actually get a divorce in the church. Generally in Australia, evidence of infidelity is not required for court purposes. However, it can be helpful to identify a person that your partner is cheating with, because that may become relevant down the track if that person ends up being in a long-term relationship with your ex-partner. That could affect settlement issues or something like that, or custody issues. One of the hurdles that people face in an infidelity situation is that their first response is usually an emotional response. So if someone discovers that their partner is cheating, or they form a strong suspicion about their partner, then they get an emotional response and they usually don't make sensible decisions. They can lash out or accuse their partner, confront their partner, or even try and investigate their partner themselves. These are all strategic errors, because if your partner knows that you know or knows that you suspect, your partner will be very wary about meeting up with someone or doing something improper with someone else. If your partner is involved in another relationship, the last thing we want to do is let the partner know that you know, because we want the partner to feel comfortable and natural to go about their general everyday business. If that involves meeting with another person, it's going to be a lot easier to catch them out if they feel comfortable, if they don't feel wary. A mistake that a lot of people make in cheating partner investigations when they try and investigate something themselves is to use some kind of spyware, like a GPS tracking device or phone spyware or an email monitor or keystroke logging. Almost all of these devices or software programs or platforms are illegal in almost all Australian jurisdictions. So not only will you probably blow your chance of getting the evidence that you need, you'll also run the risk of going to jail and getting a criminal record, which is a serious problem. The truth is that you don't actually need those devices to get definitive proof, because in our experience, having done this work for 38 years, we've discovered that the only form of evidence that ever really answers anyone's questions is video evidence. So discrete covert video footage taken of your partner getting up to whatever it is that person is getting up to with another person. So that can involve walking hand in hand down the street, cuddling at the beach, going to a movie together, maybe going back to one another's apartments, something of that nature. Evidence that's going to show a level of intimacy and affection between your partner or spouse and another person. The reason this evidence is bulletproof is because it cannot be denied. Any message that you ever see, any email that you intercept, any location that you track your partner to, can all be explained away. There's always an explanation, there's always a reason, and you will never get a definitive answer out of your partner. If you leave it to an investigator and if you obtain objective independent video evidence, there can be no disputing that on the part of the guilty party. Some people believe surveillance is immoral. They're entitled to their view. That's not a view that we as investigators hold. We believe that you have a right to know if someone is lying to you. In the vast majority of cases, if there is a suspicion about a cheating partner, that suspicion is borne out by what we observe. So that means people are usually right. Their intuition is usually proven correct. But if someone makes the decision they don't want to investigate their partner because of some kind of moral objection, that's fine. We don't make a judgment about that, but we do believe people should have the right to be able to do that investigation if they need to. We discussed earlier that people have an emotional reaction to cheating, and that's natural. But if you want to successfully solve a case, the best way you can do that is to try and remove the emotion from the equation. If you're not able to do that yourself, then it's best to try and get the help of a licensed professional, such as an investigator, especially an experienced investigator, who's done a lot of cheating partner cases before and knows how these matters operate. It's important to plan the investigation, and it's important that your communications with the investigator remain discreet. So make sure if you're going to contact an investigator, you do it from a safe phone or a safe email address that your partner or family member is not going to monitor and is not going to see. Often people use friends or relatives' phones or email accounts or a work email address that allows them a level of security, and it's important to ensure that confidentiality, because without that, the investigation will become much more difficult. When you've established a safe way of communicating with your investigator, it's important to be transparent and to slow down and give the investigator all the information that he or she asks for, and that's going to be a lot of details about your partner and about your partner's schedule, so that the investigator can help you plan the investigation and understand when and where and for how long the investigation should take place. We actually believe that quite often we want to solve the case more than the client, and that's not just in cases of infidelity, because sometimes it's very hard getting information out of clients. We're trying to ask questions that we need to know the answer to be able to plan or to solve the case, but our client seems reticent to provide that information, or they're short on time, or they're just not good communicators. So it's important to slow down and do the best that you can to help the investigator try and solve the case for you. One of the best times to engage an investigator in a cheating partner investigation is when there is some geographic separation between you and your partner. So you might be away, or your partner might be away, or someone might be on holidays or at a work function or overseas or something of that nature. They're the times when the guilty party is most relaxed and most comfortable getting up to something, because they feel safe in their environment. They're often times that we target, and sometimes it's possible to manufacture a situation of that type. So our client can say, I'm going to go away and visit my mother interstate or something like that, and that enables the guilty party to get up to something, and that's when we do the observations. So in over 80% of cases that we take on in the cheating partner arena, it's possible to get evidence that shows that your partner is being dishonest, if that's what's happening, and quite often that dishonesty is in the form of evidence of affection or intimacy with another person. So when you've got the evidence of infidelity, what do? Do you take it and confront your partner with it? Well, it might be sensible, when you know and your partner doesn't know that you know, to go and speak to a family lawyer first, because there could be considerations like child custody or the family settlement where you split up the assets to consider, and you might want to make decisions about those things before your partner knows that you know that he or she is being unfaithful. So you've got the advantage at that stage, and it's best not to waste a strategic advantage.